Now tell me, why are you here? And tell me where I may find James Kirk.
Welcome everyone, this is Master's Joke, also Master's Joke 75 on Instagram. So today I'm opening up my Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan himself. So this was, I picked this up for £6, I think it was £6.75 at the Entertainer when I was in Cambridge a few weeks ago. Now, I've always these Star Trek figures when they were first released, I thought they were great because I love Star Trek 2 is my favourite Star Trek movie. So the first one I saw, I'd seen clips of Star Trek, the motion picture, and I don't know, I was only young, but it didn't look that great to me. But I always loved the TV series growing up. But I saw Star Trek 3 in the cinema in Waltham Cross, where I saw Return of the Jedi and Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, and it blew me away. But I didn't really know what was going on. You've got Kirk with no uniform, stealing the Enterprise, and then it gets destroyed, and Spock's dead. The whole film blew me away. I was only young, but it was an amazing film. And then I think like weeks later, Star Trek 2 was shown on ITV. So I remember it well because I was at school and we had a supply teacher because a load of our teachers and a load of the kids had gone away, I think to the Isle of Wight on holiday, but we were the year below, so a lot of our teachers were affected. A lot of our teachers went with the school party, so we had a supply teacher, and I remember drawing the Enterprise and watching Star Trek 2 on ITV and also videoing it. So it must have been, I don't know, must have been like 1986. So maybe it wasn't, I don't know, but I remember videoing it. It was one of the first things I videoed. But yeah, Star Trek 2 blew me away, but I thought Star Trek 2 was better. It just unbelievable. But I love the Star Trek uniforms, which is why I picked up Spock and Kirk. I wasn't too sure about the Khan figure. I mean, it does look good, but it doesn't look great if you see what I mean. I think his hair's not, you know, it's not the hair doesn't look right. It's too grey. There's no kind of depth to it. But then when I saw it for like £6.75 or whatever it was, I thought I had to complete the set. So that's one of the reasons I picked it up. But also because I loved the film, and I also loved the Enterprise bridge, and I also think that the Starship Enterprise, it's the best version of the Starship Enterprise from the movies, which is why I was so glad to see the Enterprise A at the end of Star Trek 3, and then I saw Star Trek 4 in the cinema as well. I was well into it, and I saw Star Trek 4, and I think that was one of the last Kirk Star Treks that I watched. I did watch the newer ones, like the Next Generation ones, in the cinema. But yeah, I think that was the last one, Star Trek 4. But yeah, it just blew me away. Even the trailers, you know, on the TV. They you know, because you used to get trailers back in the day before you had like YouTube, and they were great. But yeah, it's a shame that they're not going to release any more figures. But yeah, so now I've got the whole set of well, they call it classic Star Trek, but it's from the movie series. I'll be honest, I wouldn't mind. I did like the Next Generation. I wouldn't mind picking up these guys, but the Discovery ones, honestly, I tried watching Discovery, and I sort of enjoyed it for a while, and then it just went mad, and I had to, when it got all a bit kind of gender, honestly, I had to just stop watching it. It was because it was so poor. And I've never done that before. I've always watched Star Trek, but I just gave up because it was just so rubbish. So I dabble with Star Trek now and again, but I always go back to the original series, Next Generation, and the movies, if I'm honest. But yeah, great figure. I hope one day someone does release a range of Star Trek figures, because I never picked up any of those Playmate figures because I never had the cash to splash when they were around. But yeah, I'm going to open up Khan. You know, a great, you know, the whole history of Khan's character. Not sure about Cumberpatch, who doesn't look anything like, in any way whatsoever, Khan from the original series. But this is I think this is going to be a good figure, but I'm not sure about his hair. So I'm going to open this up. I also like the fact that these Star Trek figures come with accessories. So it looks like Khan. So I like the fact that he's got his Star Trek Federation necklace there. Oh right, so that's, see, I didn't know this. So that's the Genesis computer that the computer to turn the mechanism on that he's using when he blows up Reliant. So that's a nice touch. Oh right, and that's the little kind of fork that he uses to pick up the worms to put in Chekhov's ear. And he's got a phaser as well. So I never saw him with a phaser in Star Trek 2, but I'm sure he would have had one. What would have been nice if they had like a soft goods captain kind of uniform for him to kind of wear around his arms like he did in the movie. That would have been a nice touch. Now I've opened the figure, his hair does look a little bit better. It has got some definition. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to get him out of the packet and we'll have a proper look. But I'm liking what I'm seeing, and I'm liking the accessories as well. Right, he's honestly a great figure. I'm still not convinced about the hair, but it's a really, really good figure, worth every penny. Glad I picked him up. So he comes with a stand, which is a nice touch. I forgot that the Kirk and Spock came with stands, but he doesn't really need it because he stands quite well. But if we have a look at the actual sculpt, I mean the face sculpt is really, really good. Really does look like Khan, and he's got lovely detailing on his legs and his arms, and paint applications as well. But his barnet just doesn't do it for me. It looks too, I don't know, maybe I need to re-watch the film. But it does look really good. I mean, one thing about these figures, they are very, they're very loose, but they pose quite well and they stand well. But the attention to detail is, I think it's amazing. I mean, there's things that I'd forgotten about Khan's costume, but everything seems to be here. It's a really, really nice figure. You know, it's got articulation. I mean, I would prefer with these figures if they could put their hands behind their backs, especially with the Kirk and Spock figure. They can't really do it that well, because sometimes it's nice to hide Spock's Vulcan welcome. And I know that Spock came with the gloved accessories, but it's a shame he didn't come with a spare hand. You know, so you could take the Vulcan hand off and just put a normal hand on there. But yeah, it's a really good figure, and he's even got the glove as well. I love it. I absolutely love it. So what I'm going to do is I'll get him set up, but I want to have a look at his accessories. Oh, he's even got the. He's even got. Is that the communicator on his arm? I think that is the communicator on his arm. I think it is. Or is that Kirk? I'm thinking of Kirk from the motion picture, I think. But a really good figure. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have a look at the accessories, and then we'll set him up. Right, so as well as the stand, the figure comes with the kind of Genesis control panel, which is how you kind of set it off. Now in the movie it was kind of a bit more chromy, so this is just grey plastic, but what a lovely little touch. I'm sure this is the way it goes, and then the little cylinder pops out and then or does it go in when the Genesis device is ready to kind of explode? But I like that. I'm not sure on the scale. I think it's probably a little bit too small, but I like it. I think that's a really, really good accessory. So that's a nice touch. It's just hollow, just a hollow bit of plastic, but a nice touch. And then you get, I don't know if you can see that, it might be hard to pick up. That is Khan's fork. I don't think I can get it into focus. There it is. So that's Khan's fork for the little worms, and then you also get a plate of worms as well, which he can obviously hold. And I didn't know this. I didn't know it had these accessories. It's got quite a few accessories in there. And then you also get a phaser, which I think Spock and Kirk get one of these as well. Now I don't think I've ever. It's got quite a nice detail on there. I don't think I've seen Spock and Kirk. No, sorry, Khan with a phaser in the movie. But I think it's a nice touch because he would have had a phaser probably on the bridge. And I think they're really good accessories. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set Khan up and just see what he looks like. Looking at him, I don't think he stands as well as Kirk and Spock, but it's not a bad figure. So let's see what he looks like. Right, so here's Khan with his buddies Kirk and Spock, and I've put the little worms in that little plate in his hand with his fork, and I think he looks great. I mean, just show you the kind of detail of the worms. I love it. I really think this is a great figure. A lovely little set of Kirk, Spock and Khan. But yeah, what a shame. What a shame that they're not going to do any more. Because I would have loved Star Trek 3, the Klingons, Commander Krug. It would have been great. And also like having Kirk in his civilian wear, you know, his red suit with that funky shirt. It would have been great. It would have been really, really good. It's such a shame. I wonder what happened with this line and why they didn't continue with it. But yeah, Star Trek 3 is a great movie. I mean, so's Star Trek 4 as well. I love the classic Star Treks. I think they're great. And I do want to pick up. I saw one at the Enfield pageant last year, an Ertl Star Trek Enterprise A in perfect condition on card, and I think the guy wanted. I think he wanted £15, and I'd spent so much money already. I just didn't have enough money on me, and I should have picked it up because I've always wanted it. And I also wanted those. Did Ertl? And the thing is, I call it Ertl. I don't know what the proper term is. I always called it Ertl when I got my A-Team figures. Although they were made by Galoob, weren't they? I mean, the A-Team... Do you remember the Ertl A-Team van and the Ertl Knight Rider kit? But Ertl made the Star Trek 3 figures. And I remember seeing them in Toys R Us in Wood Green, which is now Wetherspoons. And wanting them, but I never had the cash to splash back in the 80s. But yeah, honestly, these are great. It's just a shame they're not going to get a chance to, you know, do some other waves. And imagine having a Star Trek 2 bridge. That would be just amazing. But yeah, highly recommended. Yeah, I'm not convinced about the hair. I'm not going to lie. I'm not convinced about the hair at all. The definition is great, but I think it's too kind of grey. His legs are definitely looser than Kirk and Spock, but I like the accessories. I think they've done a really good job. And putting the hair to one side, or a parting, I give it 10 out of 10. Any day of the week, it's worth every penny. £6.75. Let your eyes be your guide. Still available in an entertainer. That is the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It lets me know you care. It also helps the channel. And I'll see you in the next one.